can hear you.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
Wow. Teacher's late to class.
Just keep you guys waiting, man. Just keep you guys waiting. Phil D, where are you right now? You at a hockey rink or something?
No, not this morning. Listen, it's a rare Sunday off just to watch football day. The Bills are actually playing for the first time on Sunday this week, so I made sure to clear the calendar so I could watch the game and not be somewhere else. But yeah, it's their first Sunday game of the year. It's a big one against the Dolphins. I'm home just chilling. But I started to panic like 2 hours before. There's just so much going on. I do a lot of writing. There's a lot of fantasy lineups to set. There's a lot of information coming out.
What?
Tons of stuff happens an hour or two before the lock.
What do you write?
Chaos. All sorts of game previews and things like that. But that's a whole other story. That's a side thing type of deal. But yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, it's pretty exciting. So it's really hard to be away from either computer. Phone works, but being away from the computer is actually really difficult around this time. So I'm glad to be home this week and ready to go nuts week 3.
Nice. Well, I like to hear that. Justin, what's going on, man?
Gentlemen, how are we doing? Another Sunday. I'm excited.
Yeah. Justin, I like the varying levels just for people to see behind the scenes of like getting you involved, where it's like the first week I just like asked you guys like way in advance. And then last week it was like Friday night. I was like, can you guys join? And then this week it was like last night. I was like, oh, by the way, can you join?
No, the people know Sundays I am glued to my computer, wake up early, grind out all that DFS, all the fantasy, and then noon comes around and it's time for some flash challenges, some playbook.
Okay, well, let's take a look at them. I think AJ is still on now. I don't know if she's revealed them there, but let's take a look at the 25-yard challenge. Just went live. First 25-yard challenge so far on All Day. One moment of each player who records 300 or more passing yards. 2 moments from each of the defensive players who record at least 1 interception or 1 fumble. So, oh my God. Okay, so this could be like, for all you know, this could be like a huge. For all we know, this could be like a huge challenge. Like you could end up. I mean, how many players per week record 300 or more passing yards? Like how many quarterbacks you pass for 300?
I mean, Joe Flacco doing it consistently, and he'll do it again this week.
Yeah, I mean, so you got to look at too. It's again, how many games do we have in this slate? So that's going to be looks like 13. So 26 quarterbacks are possible. Let's do a quick sort to see. But I would guess we're going to have about 6, 6 to 8. 6 to 8 feels about right. That might even be a little low.
And also, there's a wild card challenge. There's 2 wild cards. One is where you can use a legendary player. You can use a legendary QB moment in place of any or all players who record 300 or more passing yards. So does that mean any quarterback legendary? So you can use any quarterback legendary instead of doing any of the 300 or more passing yards. Which is, let's take a look. What is the lowest? What is the floor on quarterback legendaries? So that's interesting. Wildcard 2 is same thing for like the defensive backs and stuff. So same thing. So you could just use. So this week, this challenge is a huge like reward to people who've been collecting, legendaries, because they're getting like a pretty easy cheat code here. Let's take a look. Let's see. Lowest priced quarterback. So that's cool. Okay, so lowest priced quarterback legendary is Randall Cunningham, which I'm assuming. So I'm assuming it doesn't have to be an active player. I'm assuming it could just be anybody who's listed as quarterback in All Day. And his floor is $949, and then after that is the Favre like Vikings legendary for $1,190. And then after that, there's a huge jump to active players with Kyler Murray at $1,800. So not a lot of like accessible quarterbacks, but I'm assuming that means that you can use any quarterback, like doesn't have to be an active one. And yeah, so depending how big these challenges go, I think that's already like more than the cost of like some of the normal challenges or like the 15-yard challenges, which seem to have been around like $300 to $400 depending on what the bottlenecks are. So that's not too bad. Guys, do you have any thoughts immediately on the first 25-yarder? Especially like the open version of it, where it's like each player who throws 300 or more yards, which could be 2 or could be, I mean, 10 probably seems like a lot per week to do that, but never know.
I mean, go for it.
Yeah, no, I just want to say I like the defensive player moment part of it, because that could be the real easy part of this, right? There's a ton of these guys in those positions that are on, pretty much on the floor of the platform. And any given week, any player on defense can come up with an interception or a fumble recovery and qualify here, right? So it'll really be the focus here will be, on the market live as the games play out. If someone on that $8 or $9 floor comes up with some sort of turnover, you'll obviously see some movement there. As for the first one, yeah, like you said, LG, it could be anywhere. But I do think we'll have quite a few 300-yard passes. I mean, not quite a few. For me, quite a few usually means in the range that you said. But man, it varies who it can be. Justin Herbert is either not playing or playing with those ribs issues. So he's kind of taken out of the picture there, I assume, unless he's been bullshitting us. Because if you saw him last week on when he got hurt, he couldn't even run for a first down, but then he launches like a 30-yard pass down on a rope the next play. So I don't know. He's got treatment. He's had a long time off. We don't really know his status, but there's a few other guys I think that'll put up 300 yards, and I don't think it'll be that difficult if you own a bunch of the quarterbacks, to be honest with you. It'll just be fun to watch the defensive side of things, because it'll, who knows? It might only be one guy who has a moment that comes up with a play.
Justin.
Oh, well, you can use a legendary moment too, but that's not for everybody. I mean,
well, the legendaries, I'm just looking at the floor, and legendary floor, let me pull it up, is for any of the 3 positions, so like defensive back, linebacker, is also some of the historical ones. So it's like Bryant Young at 730. So if you like, so there's not really like, this is more to reward legendary holders, because even if you just want to do the cheat code right now, it's going to cost you almost $2,000. So not really like something that people I think are going to rush to do on the marketplace, because that's pretty pricey compared to just watching the games and trying to pick up the commons of all the relevant players. But yeah, I like that layer of that in itself is a bit of a wild card of like who might end up with a big defensive play in terms of an interception or forced fumble.
I think Von Miller moments are starting to move now, because obviously that game went to I'm serious. People are buying them now. Actually, no, people are listing them. That's what's happening. So I'm looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, no, you're right, man. That's exactly what's going to happen. This is going to be fun to follow.
So first thing that jumps out to me is Kirk Cousins is in the highest game total, highest projected points to get. I don't want to say pretty likely to get 300 yards, but he's probably like second or third most likely on the slate, and he doesn't have a common. So for some of these that hit 300, if you have one that only has the rares, it does make this a bit more challenging of a challenge.
Always a potential bottleneck. Do you think, Justin, that it's like that they on the inside at All Day, that they are using, like, that they have someone very similar to you, not as talented, obviously, but that is like purposely like gearing these of being like, okay, there's going to be like Cousins might throw 300 and he doesn't, like, are they designing it with that, like what you're describing in mind?
I doubt the challenges are designed with that. However, when they're doing pack drops, I think they take those things into account just to make sure that you, over time, get enough. And so now it's not so much just for the just for the challenges, but like, hey, people want to own a Kirk Cousins, but right now the only opportunities are rare. We should probably find a way to get a Kirk Cousins common in one of the next few packs. But I think trying to over-engineer the challenges for projecting, like, I don't know. I don't think that happens. I think if you start getting into that level of detail, probably kind of just issue other things, just the level of meticulous. But overall, I think like, hey, this is a very simple to understand challenge. It's, hey, 300 yards. One QB has 200 yards in the first half. They've got a good chance of getting there. And the fumble aspect I love, because 2 components. One, as soon as you see that player recovers a fumble, you can go buy that moment. And you can actually go buy 2 of them, and you have that part of the challenge complete. And so there's incentive to watch the games, be on the site as soon as you see it happen. And it's not a full, I have to speculate that this, this player might end up with the most reception, the most yards or something. But no, hey, they got it. Boom, got it. Put it in my account. Put it in my
there's no waiting. There's no waiting for the rest of the slate to play out. You know immediately, and that, like I said, Justin, that's the fun part for me is going to be watching this happen. And if some guy jumps on a fumble early and he's got something near the floor, you're going to see this thing go ballistic. Like the site might just break, right? And if you can grab some early around $8 or $9, you've got a nice little opportunity there to come away with some profit, right? Because that's part of this too.
And keep in mind, I mean, on average, you're having about 2 fumbles a game, and or 2 fumbles on a team. So you're looking at in total, what did we say? There were 13 games. So you're seeing around 50 or so fumbles. Maybe a little less than that, but like there's going to be a lot of players that are going to recover a fumble. How many of these have moments? I'm not really sure. But don't if you see something getting crazy and you're a little behind, like and it's early in the day, I think you've got time. I don't think this is going to be especially if we end up having Cousins getting, Cousins gets in the 300 yards. Now that becomes one of, if not the bottleneck. I'm not expecting these defensive players to be the challenging aspect of it. So don't overpay. Just give it some time.
That would be awesome if somebody like just has been buying a bunch of random like DBs or guys on defense to burn them for the playbook, and then they end up being like a guy that recovers a fumble. Total change of game plan there. But yeah, I agree, Justin. You never know, right? Maybe later in the day as we go, if there's no one for some reason that has a moment that's recovered a fumble and it happens in the late games, then things might get a little wild. But yeah, if something happens early, good odds that you'll probably have somebody else. Do we have anyone in mind, guys? Justin, have you even looked at the marketplace for these defensive players? Is there anyone on the floor that stands out?
I'm trying to hold on. I'm trying to understand what that line means. So it's 2 moments of a linebacker, lineman, defensive back players who record at least 1 interception or 1 fumble. And it says you can use the same person twice. So you could use like I don't know, whoever you want. I guess if
you can purchase that moment twice and count it,
even if they only got 1 fumble.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just confirming that. Yeah. So you could get this. Okay. So that's not. I thought for a second it was 1 of each, and I was like, that's a crazy challenge. Although it is a 25-yard, but okay. So you just need 2 of those.
And just to be clear as well, because it is not any defense. I guess lineman, linebacker, D-back.
Yeah.
That may include every defensive player. I don't think don't care. Like, I'm assuming safety falls into D-back as well. Really,
it's every defensive
player, and it's an interception or force fumble. There's going to be a ton of these. Do not chase these. You're going to have these at the floor by the end of the challenge. It's all going to be about the 300.
So Justin, maybe and I do want to chat about the Sunday night slate, which is also out. So there's only 5 players who've averaged 300 or more yards so far,
but average. Think of variance aspect.
I know average.
Right.
What do you? Right. I mean, yeah, obviously it's matchup based, but just thinking about. So you're saying that
from a purely projection wise, Josh Allen, they're each projected for about 285. You got Cousins about 10. Cousins, Stafford about 10 yards less. Burrow, Carr, Tua, Kyler, Carson are all like above 250. Now, yes, the projected is less than 300, but in general, you're expecting there's a level of variance that we're going to see. Between 5 and 10 QBs hit that 300 yards.
Okay, cool. And what do you guys think so far? Like I know a lot of people, at least in First Mint, have been not like, obviously you get kind of burned on. Well, not burned because there's no like direct reward related to each challenge. It's playbook based, but obviously doing these challenges for like $300 each is like pretty expensive, and then that probably like some of the rewards, even if you do the whole like 100 yards, is probably not worth. You're coming out under for that kind of stuff. But still, I think we're seeing every challenge. You're still seeing like that surge. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts there in terms of like people going out and trying to complete these or trying to like start from scratch. It seems like a strange thing. Like at this point, like even right now, if you want to collect all the guys who might get 300 yards, and that's probably not the best idea. As some of them climb up during the day, they will go up. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on like the user behavior so far. It just seems like people are overpaying, which is going to happen, but then is going to end up giving it a negative connotation, because people always be like, I want exact value back for what I paid, which is not realistic. Like, there's an inflation on these for each challenge, but I'm not sure how that's going to change. So I don't know if you guys have any thoughts there.
I mean, you're always going to have the people that will, either have the funds or be willing to use the funds, whether they come out on top or not from these challenges. That's what they love, is they don't care what it costs them. They love the aspect of being able to complete the challenge. That's just how it works. Okay.
Right.
They'll completely ignore the fact that they wasted this amount of money. They lost the value on it. For them, it was just fun to do it. Right. To have that in their record that they completed the week 3 playbook. You're right. It was a topic all week, because you had a lot of people, now that we've gone through 2 playbooks, that have come back and said, man, what the hell? What am I doing? Why am I doing these? But that's the beauty of it, is you don't have to go the 100 yards. There's so many different aspects to this, to the 100 yards, and so many pit stops along the way, that I think if you just do what you're comfortable with and not feel the pressure of having to do the whole thing, you're okay. Right. And I think people are just starting to understand it now, because a lot of people took a bath on last week's challenges, and they come back and say, well, I lost $1,000 and what I got in my reward packs wasn't worth it. But you weren't, like, at the end of the day, you kind of knew this, right? But people have an obsession with completing challenges. It's just a competitive nature that we have, and I have it in me too. But I had to really restrain with these and be like, you know what? If I only get to 40, 45 yards, I'm cool. I'm good. I'm getting a couple packs here. If I don't even have the moments I want to burn, then you know what? Maybe I won't spend the $40 or $45 to the premium, and I'll just collect the banners in the first week, and on to next week. Maybe I'll have something that fits in the challenges. But I think, there's too much pressure on people right now that they're putting on themselves to complete the playbook every week. I think there's different tiers of collectors and different levels of collectors, and you just have to go with what your flow is, right? So that's the way I see it. And I think people are going to learn that as we go. I think it's going to get better, and people will be okay with whatever comes our way.
Yeah, I agree. And I think, and again, comparing this to like past Dapper stuff getting burned, even like taking a bath on them, it's still like a couple $100 is not a couple thousand, right? So it's not as crazy, and it's something where it's like, if people feel like they're not back from doing the playbook and they didn't buy early enough and whatever, it's like, well, you can learn that lesson the first 2 weeks and then decide how much you want to play, which I think also gives us a good dimension, right? It's like, over time, you might see fewer 100 yards, 115-yard completions through the season. And who knows if the people who do it all year, who do complete 100 yards all year, who knows what happens to them, right? I don't know if they're going to they could get access to pack drops and different shit like that. Like, who knows what could actually happen there? But I think there's a lot of layers there. But yeah, hopefully everyone's playing within their limits. Let's say that. Let's jump to the Sunday challenge, and Justin, gonna throw to you as soon as I kind of read through it. So you need one moment of and this is for Sunday night. So you need one moment of the quarterback with the most completions, one moment of the player with the longest reception or longest rush, so one of either, one moment of any player records at least a full sack or an interception. Half a sack, 0.5 is not enough to qualify. They specifically call this out. And if there are no players with an all-day moment who record a sack or an interception, then you may use any moment from any player in this game that records one or more total tackles, solo plus assists. And then the last one is one historical series moment from the 49ers or the Broncos. So that is out there. Sunday night game. Tonight is obviously, we just said it, 49ers and Broncos. So is it, oh man, I guess Jimmy G's back in for the Niners, right?
No, I can't wait for this. Everyone wants Jimmy G, and then just wait until tomorrow morning now. We'll see.
Wow. All right, so we're taking a look. For most completions between Jimmy and Russ, it is pretty much a dead coin flip. Projections have them both right at our expected 20 completions. People think Russ is a substantially better quarterback, but it also has to do with which team is ahead. What is your actual Jimmy Garoppolo's average depth of target is substantially lower than Russ, which means he's more likely to have completions, even if it's not as effective. So coin flip there. Bit of a, I've got a feeling Jimmy's moment. Does Jimmy have moments?
Yeah, he's got a common,
Let's get that one.
and he's at it's at $42, and Russ is at 75. So they each have one common.
So if you're planning just for that, like Jimmy's obviously a little better value there. Let's see, longest recept, longest rush.
Yeah, Jimmy only has one moment. Russ has three, and just one of those is common. It's $75.
Okay. So longest rush. I mean, Jeff Wilson is going to be getting the majority of the carries for San Francisco. Again, he may not have a moment either. No, Jeff Wilson does not have a moment.
He does not have one.
Okay. So then, unlikely it's someone on the San Francisco side with the longest rush, unless like Debo does something. On the other side, Javonte has been getting a bit more of the work. I know those are Javonte moments out there. But then longest reception, which more likely it ends up being the longest reception than longest rush. And for that, Cortland Sutton's kind of the more downfield threat. So I'd say he's most likely. Jerry Jeudy's been questionable all week, but looking like he probably will play. And then on the San Francisco side, Debo and Ayuk. Ayuk's got a bit more of that downfield presence and over the top. So if I was to rank these, I'd probably go Sutton, Ayuk, Jeudy, Debo. KJ Hamler is probably my wild card one, where the way he's used, got that many receptions, he's a burner, he's very fast. Wouldn't be shocked if he ends up having like that 60 RTD.
Justin, I know people just screamed when you said Sutton, so say it again.
And there's no KJ Hamler moment, so don't worry about the
No, there's no Hamler, yeah.
No, hold on. Stone Cold, you screamed, and a couple other guys screamed because you guys all have 100 plus of these things.
Oh, not me. I'm no whale. No. Two guys screamed. They definitely are going nuts right now. I just Smurfs at a festival. He's screwed. Smurfs at a festival. He won't even be able to sell them.
I just wanted to throw in there, guys, that I looked at the numbers here, and the Jimmy G's, that common moment, there's 65 sales since the challenge announcement for that Jimmy G moment, which makes sense.
Yep.
So what? He's so Jimmy G's going up in value right now, or he's gone up $2?
Well, not
really,
much, but people are buying. They're loading up, expecting him.
He was $16 2 weeks ago. We grabbed him on our Tuesday night show at $16. That's crazy how far he's come.
Was that you grabbed him before Trey got injured?
Yep, we all grabbed him on the Tuesday show because Mr. X Buddy came on and said, "Hey, I think Jimmy G might be a good play if anything happens with Trey." And we all grabbed him. Literally that Sunday, he was like, "Told you."
See, that's what.
Well, I don't know what just happened. I think I just.
What happened?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. Did you guys lose?
Sorry, no, that's my fault. I muted everybody by accident.
Oh, you muted everybody? Yeah, I was talking. And
I tried to click on a button. I have a new phone.
Hey, relax, man.
Wow.
No, but that's what I like is that that's like a huge win for you guys, Stone Cold, which is great. But it's not like an obscene win. It's not like you guys knew about Jimmy G and then you each made like 10 grand, and it like kind of sends this like wrong message in a way that it's like, hey, come get rich. It's like, no, that's great. Like that's $30 if you guys want out right now, and that's like, but also it's also you don't have to rush into this. It's like you guys got ahead of it with your football insight. You know what I mean? It's like you guys got your buddy on who's like, hey, listen, people at practice been saying Jimmy G's been throwing really good. Who knows, right? And it's just like that's what I like about this, again, to kind of like praise the playbook format is like, great, like you can still get ahead of this a little bit, especially because the dynamic every week of the NFL changes. Like so much happens through season in terms of injuries and people that get targeted more and everything, right? So that's great for you guys. What else have you guys been grabbing, Stone Cold? What else have you guys been getting on your weekly show?
Well, I wanted to comment as well on what you said earlier about like people like, chasing stuff. I don't think anybody should be chasing. And everyone that is commenting on Twitter are people that we know the space. Like we had all summer to grab this stuff at like $8. Like we should have just grabbed it all then, and then we'd be more prepared going into Sundays. And I don't think you'd be as mad. But like you said, that's the kind of stuff that, it's hindsight's 2020. Those guys are chasing rares, LG. I'm like you. I'm a budget guy. You know that.
You're like me
Yeah.
and Phil, man. We're cheapos. We just even Phil and I have just been
100%.
doing. We're like, we'll just get to 40 yards every week. Like, you know, unless there's one that like lands in my lap where it's like it has like 4 of the 5 I already have, and it's only like an extra $50 to do. It's hard. It's hard. Like I wish I got it early, like you guys, right? But that's what's fun though. Is I'm like my day is gonna come, and I will strategically add players as it goes. But obviously keep that within budget. Okay, so challenges are live. People buying Jimmy Garoppolo's great. I did want to chat. We didn't get a chance actually. I do want to plug Rumble real quick, Justin. Before I do want to chat Series 2 as well, because of the pack drop on Tuesday, and get your guys' thoughts on that. But Justin, we actually didn't get a chance to chat about Rumble last week. How's Rumble been the first 2 weeks?
It's going great. It's been really fun. What about for you guys? Have you guys been playing? Have you had any sweats? Get any up there near the top of the leaderboard? How's it going for all the people on here?
Let's see. Last week, how do you see how you did last week? I was number 1263 last week in Rumble.
Wow.
Okay.
Like
Out of
rank
how
wise.
many? What are the numbers like,
It's
Justin?
like 6,000 or something, right?
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's been between I think 6,500, 7,500 for the first 2 weeks.
67, 71 last week.
There you go.
Yeah, this is LG though. Last Sunday he messages me telling me how garbage his fantasy team is, and like had enough. And then later that night, I see messages like, "Oh, LG's going for high score." I'm like, "Excuse me, he just told me his lineup is like."
It's because I had
that went off
digs.
for you.
It's because I had digs, man. That's.
I was like, "What's this guy saying?" Like, honestly.
It's because I had like Cam Akers and shit like that just like been totally useless, or that at least in this first game was completely useless. So early got.
Yeah,
like
but the
one.
way it's been this year is you can have a guy who throws up a goose egg, okay,
Yeah.
and still have come out high score because you got guys putting up 30s and 40s every week.
Yeah.
So it's been happening a lot.
So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was my week 2 performance, Justin. But that's pretty good.
Who was the first Mint member we had almost win? Right? It just came to me.
Hefe.
Yes,
Wasn't it
yeah,
Hefe?
Uncle Hefe. Uncle
That's
Hefe
right.
almost
Yeah.
won it. Yeah.
Yeah, he finished 27th, so he won
That
$40.
guy's a pro, man.
He is.
The guy's a real pro. You got to be careful there.
Yeah.
He crosses borders to put his DFS lineups in.
Oh,
So
let's
true.
go.
that's some hardcore stuff right there.
It's true. He crosses from Ontario to Quebec on the bridge near his house to put in DFS lineups. It's banned in Ontario. Sorry, Justin. Yeah. So, anyways, I've submitted my week 3 lineup. Looking great. Feeling good.
Nice. No, it's been a blast. It's been really
Yeah.
fun. We've heard from the community just, hey, it's another added layer and added element that adds utility to your moments. People have really been enjoying the Thursday night wrinkle where you can watch the games Thursday. So for example, see what's interesting is you see a lot of immediate movement Thursday night from the playbook and what's happening there. Because a lot of times the players who have the best games are also the ones who are kind of necessary for the playbook. Not always, but we've seen that. But after that, you then have when people are trying to sell, playbook's over, you see people trying to say like, oh, well, actually, if you're going to sell it at a discount because the challenge is over, I want to use that for my Rumble lineup.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that kind of second little wave or bump of demand as well for these.
Mm-hmm.
And we still haven't had so first week was the big game, but those were all needed for the challenge. And then people also held on to them because you have the end of week. We haven't yet had where there was a big performance fantasy-wise in Thursday night that didn't align to a necessary playbook. So when it was wide receivers, none of the running backs ended up going off. I think that's when it's going to be really interesting is when we have a tight end that puts up 2 touchdowns, when we have a running back that has a huge game, and then people really trying to get those for that Rumble roster.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, seeing that direct correlation. I mean, really great results, I have to say as well. Like you guys have huge participation numbers, so that's really fantastic, and I love just the simplicity, the added utility of it. Phil, you've been submitting lineups?
I have not even tried it yet at all.
Come on.
First of all, the first week I was in the arena, I didn't even know what the hell I was doing. I was having so much.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, you were at the hockey. You were.
I'm finally getting into things now. Like this is my first complete week of just chilling. So yes, I'll definitely be submitting something. Absolutely.
Okay. Well, you've got
right now as
30. You've got Yeah, you don't have a
where
lot
I'm
of
setting
time.
all my so much going on, man, and I can't make up my mind on a couple guys, and I'm not even going to bring it up because then I'm not going to go with my gut instinct, and we'll just end up having the wrong decision. LG, I also don't like that you're so confident about your lineup this week. That's never a good sign with you. And like I just mentioned, whenever you're really down on your lineup, that's when you go off. So I'm just.
I just put in whatever I honestly listen. I'm super basic. Okay, I'm still like I have to like relearn how football works. So it's like I just go with whatever Rumble tells me has the highest projection. Like there's no strategy whatsoever. Like I'm just like, yeah, whatever you think. Like Justin, whatever you guys program to think that is going to have the most points, I'm in. Like that's just what I put in, which is not. Listen, at least I was in the top, like I guess like 20% last week, so it's not awful.
I'm thinking we may need to start charging you like $5, and then we'll create your optimal lineup for you based off your collection.
That'd be awesome, man. I would love that. I'll buy as many Jolly Jokers as possible if that's what it is. If that's what I get.
All right.
No, so I have based on that, I have Josh Allen, which I was very lucky to pull Josh Allen in my week 1 like single star pack or whatever, like the first reward. I pulled the Josh Allen.
Listen there, folks. Single star pack, Josh Allen.
That's it. Yeah, don't do the challenge. Do the cheapo part.
That's right, baby.
Just burn a few moments and then just don't do anything else. And then I have this week. So I have Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Mixon, Cup, Chase, Mark Andrews as a tight end, Chubb as my flex, and Dallas as my defense.
So I'm fading a little bit this week. I'm going Burrow and Jamar Chase stack because I think it's not going to be as highly played by more lineups. And then played around a little bit. I think I like Swift and I like Amon St. Brown. So they're in my lineup as well.
Mm-hmm. Justin, do you end up playing Rumble? Or you I guess not.
No. I've
just play.
Yeah, just not worth it. We'll do like a test lineup early on, but none of the OTM guys end up playing. But we definitely have that itch, and I think it's just the most fun. Just those Thursday nights watching the movement, then seeing the lineups come in, and then Neil always does such a great job with like putting out new features. There's some cool stuff that's on the horizon as well to continue to. And I think the most recent one is you can now add an avatar. If you show up on that leaderboard, you'll actually be able to see what one is your avatar. So I think, if you do that, just go to your edit profile and
James Cameron.
Add your NFT, add your whatever you want.
Nice. Well, there you go. For anybody listening, if you haven't done it already, head over to otmnft.com, go over to Rumble, and get playing. Use your all-day moments in an extra form of utility and get your lineup in. I didn't even see you could do a profile photo. That's great. How is it that it took you no time to set up a profile photo system, but it's Dapper has been able to do it 2.5 years? So, somebody explain that to me.
No, I knew it.
When are we going to be able to use as our profile photo?
Amen. Amen.
Oh my God, is that still a thing?
Each of the pictures that you submit, it is manually reviewed, and so
why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. And so, if someone abuses it, we'll ban them. But to be honest, I mean, that could be a reason why Dapper has not done it. That if you can just have user, uploaded pictures, there's a level of risk involved.
Well, whatever, man. If they do it just for KYC people, then at least you'll know who it is who submitted porn or whatever.
And I think eventually, like, hey, if you can at least have like the various collections as your avatars, I think would be great. Because we know that a ball, that a Jolly Joker, we know that a flunk, all of these ones, like, they're fine images to display. Yeah.
Okay. Justin, it keeps telling me image is too large, try a lower resolution. And these images are like tiny that I'm trying. This image is like nothing. It's like,
it must be pretty large. I don't know.
It's my mustache photo, man. It's like, it's small.
It's a large
the resolution is 144 by 144.
Bushy, man. That's huge.
That's
LG's got large images.
That's tiny. It's tiny. What I have is tiny.
I will share that feedback with the team.
Come on. You need a little thing that says max KB size or whatever, kilobytes for images.
Okay, Coop, I see you listening. Coop, I'm putting you on that.
Coop, producer Coop, come on, man. Get it together. All right, guys, Series 2. started. We got the first drop Tuesday. People saying it's expensive. $2.59 for, I think, was it 6? No, 8 moments, 6 commons, 1 rare, and then 1 special edition common / rare / legendary. Chance at a legendary. We got dollars up here. I'm going to go to dollars first. Dollars, $2.59. Too much, too little.
I think I was a little disappointed by it, but it wasn't exactly unexpected. So I'm kind of on the fence whether I'll go in for it or not. I will definitely enter the queue, and then I'll probably make a decision spur of the moment.
Yeah, right, man. If you
dollars,
enter the queue,
come on,
you're
man.
totally buying
Dollars.
one. Yeah, right.
No, dollars. I've never, ever seen you bail out of the queue and not buy something. No way.
That's true. That's true.
Especially this guy. This guy pulled a freaking Magic Johnson legendary the other day after not sure if he was going to pay $1,000, and he pulls like best one. So there's no way you can't. You got to go back in again, dollars, if you get a chance.
Yeah, I suppose I gotta let that luck play out.
Congrats again, too. By the way, on your,
Whatever.
on your
Did everyone
awesome
else
pull.
participate in the 1K? Anyone get anything else good?
No. I think I showed up and I got
Awesome of all people who we haven't heard from in forever ended up pulling a Magic Johnson as well. So.
You know what? After all those cool cats he bought,
yeah, thanks to Luka. He owns like 35 of them still. Yes,
he still has a bunch of Luka cool cats.
I don't know. I assume he hasn't said otherwise. I think he didn't say he offloaded them.
He's the best.
And just for those who don't know the story, he is exactly the same person in person, because we randomly ran into him at a Pistons game last year in Detroit. He's the exact same person in person as he is his kind of really weird humor on Twitter. He's the exact same, identical. Funny guy. Yeah.
Top 3 first mint guests of all time, easily.
For sure.
Stone Cold, $2.59 a pack, $59 a pack for the commons, which is 4 moments, 3 commons, and a chance at a common special edition rare or legendary. Too much, too little. What are your thoughts for week 1 and 2?
Woo, thank you for calling on me. So I think if we start now, guys, we probably get $100 rebate by the time pack drops. So we just got fired up. No. So here's what I'll say on it real quick. I think it's a little high, but if it does just contain moments of people that don't have moments yet, and it's a lot of rookies and 3-star badges, then I don't know how people aren't going to get their value back in that with 8 moments there. That had to be pointed out to me. Like, if it is the people that it should be, and it's not a bunch of repeats, and it's a lot of rookie 3-star badges, I mean, you could probably get that money back pretty quickly. But yeah, it's a little steep. I hope we see maybe a rebate or something by the time Tuesday comes around.
Oh, you think there's going to be a rebate?
Oh, bro, I'm always rooting for rebates.
You think you think because if we hate it enough that they're going to say you buy a pack at $40 back.
Oh yeah,
to
works
spend
every time.
As dapper balance. Oh, okay. So you want to start
Stone
like
Cold
a complaint brigade
saw
here.
AJ in the room, and he knows he's planting the seed right now.
Yes. I hate this. I hate this drop. I don't have any money.
The worst ever. We're not going.
I'm really questioning AJ's. I don't know what she's doing here. Just huge price drops. I don't know. I'm going to post on my social platforms about how much it's too expensive. And nobody should buy it until they lower the price.
They're still trying to separate themselves from OC Sniper after last with you. So
yeah, that's right.
You mean AJ Sniper?
For Dave Sniper.
I was actually thinking about that after that. We didn't even talk about who Dingling or OC Sniper might be. Because last week, for anybody who wasn't here last week, we were just talking about a hilarious rumor that Phil heard about, that Dingling and OC Sniper are just dapper employees just trying to pump the market, which is hilarious, especially considering that Dingling bought $10 million of Top Shot moments and then moved on and spent like $20 million on like apes and everything else. So very doubtful, but yeah, we never played the game of who that might be. So that's fun. Phil, $2.59 for a pack. Phil, you and I are the cheapos, man. And what do you think? You line up, you get a spot in the line. Are you buying?
Probably not, to be honest with you, but it all depends on, obviously what's going to be in the packs, and you always have to kind of evaluate if it's worth it. Mm-hmm. I think it goes back to, again, the situation of depending on your financials and how much dapper you have and how much you're willing to add from outside of the Dapper ecosystem. I think that has a lot to do with it. So if you've got a ton of Dapper sitting around, it's, regardless of what happens with that pack, you don't really care. So you're jumping in, right? And a lot of people have a ton of Dapper. We know this.
Are you going to, because that to me, like premium one, it's like, all right, well, you're getting a rare, even if rares, only when it comes in at like $40-$50, it's like, kind of seems like a better roll the dice in a way, and you still get a lot of other moments, so you have like a decent chance at other good players. But the common ones, it's only 4, very small chance of getting anything legendary or rare, and 60 is a lot still.
Yeah, so we've been talking about this all week, and I'm going to keep it real, 100% all the time. I'm not just going to say whatever because AJ's here and people are in here listening. That doesn't impact how I feel. So, no, seriously, because you have a lot of people who feel the same way, and I think it's important. And I do know that All Day usually care about the community feelings on these things, and I'll tell you right now. So if I'll give you an example. If I've got 10 friends that I play fantasy with, and none of them are into NFTs, none of them are into to All Day, but they've heard about it. They've heard about Top Shot, like everybody else has who's in the sports world, and they've heard about All Day, and they're kind of interested. But the only ability they've had to do anything is buy things off the market, and they don't like any of the players they see at $8 or $9 on the floor. For them, that's not worth spending USD, because again, there's a lot of people that for us Canadians, 8 USD is comes around $11 or $12 or 11, 10.
It's 11, a lot right now, man. Canadian dollars at an all-time low or whatever.
So now I'm telling these guys, hey, first pack drop, like guys group, if I say first pack drop in a while is coming up this week, and then they ask how much is it, and I'll say 59 USD, I can almost guarantee you that the ones who are thinking about it will not join. There's no chance. Yes, it doesn't seem like a lot, and for a lot of us who've been around for a long time, we're probably going to do it for sure. And I'll be in line for that one, and I'll be buying that one if I get, if I have the opportunity. But for me, I've always been more on leaning on the side of kind of new users and how they feel, and I still feel that it's not accessible. I wish kind of that an option for someone buying. I know. Listen, the whole multi-accounting stuff, it's always going to be an issue. We still see people posting that they're going to make sure their grandma gets one this week and things like that, right? When we know their grandma doesn't have an account. But you know what I mean, right? So, but I wish there was an option for, if you're still within your first 5 packs, you get to buy this pack for like $19 or something like that. Something a little bit more accessible for new people, because I just don't see people saying, oh yeah, $59 for 4 moments is worth it for me for my debut on this platform.
What about this? What about this, Phil? What about a starter pack that you are not able to sell? So you get moments. Those probably are, a special amount of moments that have a slash affinity. There can be minted to whatever. You can't actually sell them, but you get to own that moment. You get to watch it. Maybe it can even be used in some kind of collection in challenges, especially like starter challenges. But it doesn't have a negative impact on the marketplace because people aren't rushing to dump them. You don't have to worry about signing up for my grandmother, because you're not really making any money off of these. But it allows you to get that experience and get that kind of bug and feeling of what the platform's about.
Maybe for a year or something. Yeah, I agree with that. I would almost say that they take the model. I like the idea, Justin. Maybe take the model from Top Shot locking, and those moments are audited for a year. And if you stick around long enough and you do other things on the platform, then those unlock after a year, and you're free to do whatever you want, right? But that'd be really debatable. I know some people would go nuts over that, but I do think that there has to be a step in between somewhere to bring, because people, it's like the fish in the ocean, right? They like your bait, but they're not sure sometimes, right? If it's I'm just saying, they might take a nibble, but they might not chew the entire thing.
Phil's been fishing for some Atlantic salmon this weekend. And
sounds like dating advice.
I mean, they're biting on, because I suck at fishing. I mean, this happens every time that they never bite the bait. I guess I don't know if I put it on right.
Phil, we went ice fishing once. Remember? Do you remember that?
That was a complete train wreck, because we 10 hours. I mean, we had fun drinking, but we didn't catch anything. And then when we asked the pros,
so hard,
can you get us a fish? Like, they'd throw their thing in there and get it within 5 minutes, while we've been sitting all day. Absolutely nothing.
That was tough. It was a rough day.
But I think some kind of baby step, just to bring in new people. Like, if you go to an NFL game and people are like, oh, I hope that's a moment on All Day, and someone says, what's All Day? Oh, here, go to that website, check it out, and they see $59, they're probably not jumping in. You know what I'm saying? I'd love for there to be, hey, if you're new, click here. Here's a starter pack. You know, pay $10 for the starter pack. You get one of the packs in the next drop. You get this, you get that. I don't know, something in between.
Just give them Matt Stafford. There's a million of them out there.
Yeah. There's a million of a lot of things that you could give away. But other than that, I mean, we knew this was coming. So, I mean, we predicted the prices of these packs in the First Mint Discord, and it was spot on. All you have to do is look at the last time they did these drops, and it would kind of give you an idea of where the price point would be. And I think they will sell out no problem again. So that's it.
Yeah, we don't have the full pack list yet, AJ. So, you know, still waiting on it. But there was she did drop a bit of alpha in the Discord, which everybody pointed out to us yesterday. So thank you, everybody who let us know. But yeah, there's a bit of info out there in terms of who's going to get what. I heard the click, and I thought it was her coming on stage, and I got really scared. But it's not. It's we got Jax. Anyways, so anyway, so we got a bit of info on what's coming, but yeah, keen to see that pack list. I think Phil and Dollars and everybody, that I think that's going to determine a lot of like people going for these packs or not is whether what else is in them, right? Because sure, like a chance of legendary Lamar or Tua is great, or Jalen Ramsey or something like that, but it's just like, you know, I think we have to see what else is in there. I think also, like, I think one big deterrent for pack drops that we always get is when people see the full list and you see like what the other rares are that you might get, right? So it's just like, it's nice to think that, you know, you get a rare of like a star player, but it's like usually when you see like the other 20 rares that are in there of like lesser exciting players who might not use in Playbook anytime soon, is when that usually turns the tide. That being said, bigger question for you guys. Series 2 first pack drop. People are going to line up, get a ton of commons. We don't know how many packs there are yet. Will week 4 play require Series 2 moments either to burn or as part of challenges? I'll go to maybe Stone Cold. You can start us.
I think yes, absolutely. Yeah, 100%. Yep.
You think week 2 stuff will be part of week 4 playbook, or sorry, Series 2 will be part of week 4 playbook?
Yeah, absolutely, because I think it kind of goes to what Phil's talking about, like getting new users involved. Like the only way they can do that a little bit, Phil, is to get more moments on the platform as well, because everything's crazy inflated. So yeah, I do think that stuff's going to be incorporated to maybe make a lower tier challenges, maybe for newer users to get involved. So I think you're spot on there, Phil.
You know what's funny? I don't want to go off track too much, LG, but somebody mentioned maybe a lower tier for Playbook and challenges, maybe a lower tier of burning as well, where, you know,
3
if you're
moments.
50 yards, you only have to burn 3 moments or something like that. Do you know what I mean? As opposed to 5 for the.
I like that a lot, Phil. Yeah, I like that a lot. Like if you only go to a certain amount of yards, you only have to burn up to 3 moments or something. I like that.
Right, just a little bit less for those, because there is a huge, it's almost like different classes. There's a lot of collectors that are like myself that are always stuck. I'm not stuck. This is what I choose to do, but I only choose to go to 40, 45 yards on any given week. And then you still have to burn 5, and you're like, okay, I don't know. Now I'm second guessing it. If it was 3, it would be an automatic yes, right?
Oh yeah, I'm going backwards. I did 180, and then I probably only do 40 this week, Phil. You're right. It's getting tougher.
Well, it just gives you more options as to what you want to do for the week, and I think it gives more of a comfort level for people saying, "Hey, next week I'll be okay just doing 40 again, and I won't have to stress the entire week about getting to 100." Right. So I think it'd be a good idea. But back to Series 2 moments, because I'm interested to hear what you guys have to say about that as well. I think they'll be part of the playbook next week, almost for sure. You have to include them in some way, shape, or form.
Dollars, go ahead.
Yeah, just jumping in on your mention of optionality, I think they will be. I think they will be eligible, not necessarily required, right? Because I think they want to give people flexibility, hopefully, and/or optionality onto, you know, how they want to choose to participate in the challenges and the playbook.
I could also see people throwing in 1 rare versus 5 commons if they keep the 5 commons. I like the 3 common aspect, you know, lower it down for newer users, because you got to think, like we're talking about $59 for a pack for Series 2. Well, the floor is $8 to $10. 5 moments, that's $50. If I got a friend that's brand new into NFTs or Top Shot or All Day, they're gonna be like, man, $50 just to get started in this like fantasy type challenge. They're not gonna do it. They think most of us are crazy with NFTs in general. So I do think it needs to be lowered, as well as the price for the premium packs.
Do you guys think we'll see burning of rares anytime soon?
Yeah, AJ already brought it up on our show on Tuesday. But yes, that's an option that they're looking at as maybe like an alternative either or.
Nice. I've gotten the kind of sense that, I don't know, kind of looking at all three Dapper properties, that it's like they are very much in the mindset of burning commons. Like we haven't really seen, other than maybe some of the squad glove shots, like we haven't really seen burning of rares too much. But I would absolutely love to see that introduced into all day. I love anything that's burning. I think I really love. I also could see that like in series 2, if I don't think they'll do, I kind of floated in the team hold chat this morning that they could do like a drop every 2 weeks. So it's like week 1 and 2, and then week 3 and 4, and then week 5 and 6. And I doubt they'll stick to like such a, prescriptive format, but I really like the idea of dropping stuff and then immediately regulating the supply on it. Right. So it's like putting stuff out, and then there's immediately you need to put that stuff for the next playbook. Right. Just one of the many levers that they can pull that I think would be really interesting. Right. Because then that is like immediately kind of addresses any oversupply stuff where it's like, hey, listen, we're putting stuff out, but we're immediately getting rid of like 10% of it every week or 20%. Right. So you kind of have a whittling, and then you have like an immediate utility for every single moment that's pulled, even the ones that'll never be part of challenges in Playbook. That's you give like an extra value to every single one that comes out, which is cool. So hopefully, again, a lot of different options for these guys to use. Stone Cold, I'm going to jump on something you said. You said you might only do 40 yards this week after maxing out the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I was 100, and then I was 80, and then this week, I mean, honestly, with looking at today, I don't know. Yeah, 40 is probably the target for me this week.
Wow. Okay. What about the rest of you guys? Dollars, Jacks. What about you guys? Have you guys been maxing out each week?
I have. Well, I've gotten to 100 each week. I think so the first week there was one challenge. I think it was one of the Sunday challenges that I didn't complete, and then last week I didn't do. I think it was the Monday night challenge. But and this week I didn't do the Thursday challenge, so I'm already feeling like I'm starting a bit in the hole, and I'd like to get to 100, but I also don't want to spend 100 plus bucks on a challenge or two in order to get there. So I'm going to kind of play it by ear over the course of the day.
I have to admit, I was 115 yards 2 weeks in a row. Changed my team. Very ashamed for that team reward. But yeah, this week I just couldn't stomach Cam Hayward. That bottleneck. The one moment I needed. I almost got a Minka. Thank God I didn't. But yeah, I had to sit that one out. But so far I'm looking all right for the next two challenges. For 100.
Do you guys think at the end of the season they're going to reveal some kind of total yardage leaderboard? Is that a possibility?
I do think the accolades, yeah, all those trophies, you add that together, and they'll be like everybody with graphite, this many graphite trophies, blah blah blah. Maybe in the off season to keep people enticed, type of thing.
Yeah, those are not for no reason. People keep asking what those are for, and they're not just a display. I think there'll be something to it at some point. And you're right, LG. Now that leaderboards are kind of getting a lot of attention, there's a good chance that they probably release some type of leaderboards like that. I hope people don't go too that, but people like to flex, and this is why a lot of people continuously do the 100 yards, even though they maybe shouldn't at times, depending on what they own. So yeah, I think so.
Well, any type of merch with that kind of stats on it would be cool too. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to please us. Like if they sent you something showing your stats in the season, even a poster you could put up in your office, shows your NFL all day stats, like with yours customized, like your name and everything. I think that even could be cool. Like small shit like that matters, and I wish they would think of that stuff some more sometimes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I think I'd love to see like a leaderboard at the end of the season, and like you're saying, Jax, like just based on accolades, right? Like, you don't even have to do total yardage. You could just be like X trophies count for X points or whatever. And then yeah, the people that finish in the top like 1,000 or 2,000, just mail them a little card that says you freaking did it. Like something like that would be really cool. And you're right, Stone Cold. Like those little touches do go a really long way, I think, for making people feel like they were part of something. And I think people in general are really proud about when they win, people love in Yahoo getting their little trophy that even for me, when I finished like second, I'm like, yeah, I love seeing
100%.
that. That matters. And Yahoo doesn't even tell me anything for that. So getting a little extra something, even just a little card, I think is really nice. So that can go a long way. Guys, we're almost at lock here. Any around the table for any last thoughts? Actually, before we do, just quick heads up, we have a contest going on right now, or a little giveaway from round 21, doing a few of these at the start of the season with our friends over there with Jasmine. So today we got the Russ football. We got the Russ football out there. So retweet, comment your score prediction for the Broncos game, for the Niners game tonight. And that's it. We'll have another one of those going next week as well. Phil, any last thoughts before we wrap out today?
Yes, I'm going to bring you a little breaking news. Has nothing to do with NFL all day, but it has everything to do with the NFL and something we saw last week. Okay. This is reported by Jay Glazer. Thanks to Tom Brady, all 32 teams get a memo from the NFL this week threatening punishment for breaking tablets and or other league-issued equipment. Because if you watch the Saints and the Bucks game last week, Tom Brady was flashing tablets left and right. He totally demolished 2 of them, and they got pissed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Bills Mafia have completely invaded Miami. I don't know if you've seen the videos, LG, but
I haven't.
Oh man, every corner you can go of South Beach, even though the stadium is nowhere near South Beach, they have absolutely invaded Miami, and it will be a crazy atmosphere for, I guess, one of the better games on the slate today between the Bills and the Dolphins. Now that the Bills lost some key members of their defense, it could turn into an all-out shootout if Miami has anything left in the tank from that comeback last week, right? So. We'll see, man. Good game. Starts in 5 minutes. Excited to see what happens.
Nice. Justin, haven't heard from you in a bit. Any last thoughts today before we wrap out?
No, this is great. Best of luck to everyone. Enjoy your Sundays. And that's it.
We're going to be back on Tuesday for these drops. Oh, yes.
Cold brew.
It's an all-day. It's going to be another all-day cold brew right here. The drops are at the premium drop is at 1:00 Eastern, and the standard drop is at 3 Eastern. So we'll definitely be there for the premium one, absolutely, because we want people to get those legendaries. Hopefully everything goes smoothly. We don't have pack totals yet, but we will soon. Rest of the guys, any last thoughts before we wrap out? Stone Cold Dollars, Jax, let me know.
No, have a great Sunday, guys. This will be fun.
Thanks, dude.
You got 3 minutes to lock in Kirk Cousins. Just saying, he's going to be the Rumble MVP this week. Sleeper.
I think so. I also think that the Vikings destroyed the Lions today. Just saying. Have a good Sunday.
Ooh, bold pick.
Don't tell Dave that. Okay. Thanks, guys.